I used to think that honesty could mend anything, that no matter how harsh or painful the truth was, speaking it would somehow lighten the burden and keep love alive. But that night taught me something different. Sometimes the truth doesn't save you. It shatters everything you thought was unbreakable. Liam and I had been together for 6 years. We weren't flawless, but we were constant. The kind of couple people pointed to and said, they're meant to be. We had a small house in the suburbs, matching coffee mugs, and a calm rhythm that felt safe. Maybe too safe. I used to convince myself that comfort was enough. Until the night I let that comfort slip away. It happened last winter, after one of those endless work conferences where the hotel bar feels warmer than your own bed. There was laughter, too many drinks, and a co-worker who looked at me like I was still 22. Interesting, alive, seen. His name was Evan. I told myself it was innocent. Just a bit of flirting I could stop any time. I didn't stop. The next morning, guilt sank into me like an anchor. I deleted every message, blocked his number, and promised myself it would never happen again. Liam would never know. After all, what he didn't know couldn't hurt him, right? But guilt has a way of showing itself. In your eyes, your voice, your distance. Liam noticed the hesitation in my touch, the quiet pauses between us. One evening over dinner, he looked at me and said softly, "You've been somewhere else lately. Should I be worried?" I smiled and lied, told him I was just tired. He nodded, but I could see the doubt in his eyes. That was 3 months ago. Every night since, I felt the confession pressing inside me, like it was clawing to get out. Last Friday, it finally did. We were sitting on the porch, the air thick with the smell of rain. He was scrolling through his phone, laughing at something silly online. For a moment, I thought, maybe I can live with this lie. Then he looked up and said, "You know, no matter what happens, I trust you." Those words broke something inside me. "Liam," I whispered, my voice trembling, "there's something I need to tell you." He set his phone down. "Okay." I couldn't meet his eyes. I just started talking, fast, disordered, desperate, ripping off a bandage I've been hiding under my skin. I told him everything. The conference, the bar, the mistake, the silence. Each word felt like glass cutting through my throat. When I finally stopped, the only sound was the rain. He didn't speak, didn't blink, just stared past me, trying to piece together a world that no longer made sense. After what felt like forever, he said quietly, "Thank you for telling me." I wasn't expecting that. I started crying, apologizing, saying it meant nothing, that I'd hated myself every day since. He just nodded once, stood up, and walked inside. I followed him, begging him to talk to me. He went straight to the bedroom, opened the closet, and pulled out a duffel bag. "You're not the first to lie to me," he said calmly, "but you're the first I truly believed wouldn't." That calmness cut deeper than anger ever could. "Where are you going?" I asked. He zipped the bag. "To my brother's. I need time to figure out if I can even look at you again." I reached for him, but he stepped back. His eyes were wet but steady. "You didn't just break trust," he said. "You killed the version of me that believed we were different." Then he walked out. The door closed softly, like a final breath. The house was unbearably quiet after that. Every photo on the wall looked like an accusation. I sat on the floor replaying everything, wondering if keeping silent would have been kinder. But deep down, I knew he deserved the truth, even if it destroyed us. 2 days later, I got a text. "I'm safe. Don't call. I'll reach out when I can." That was it. No anger. No goodbye. Just the kind of cold distance that tells you the person you love is still alive, but gone in every other way. Friends said I did the right thing. That truth is cleansing. But they don't see his toothbrush still untouched beside mine. They don't hear the silence where his keys used to jingle. The truth doesn't cleanse. It lingers. It haunts. A week later, he came to collect the rest of his things. I'd imagined that moment 1,000 times. Apologies, maybe forgiveness. But when he arrived, he was calm, composed, already at peace with walking away. "Is there anything left to say?" I asked. He paused at the door, his hand resting on the knob. I loved you enough to never doubt you, he said softly. Now I'll love myself enough to leave. And then he was gone. I stood there surrounded by the quiet remains of our life, realizing honesty isn't always noble. Sometimes it's just necessary punishment. I told myself the truth would free me from guilt. Instead, it freed him from me. Now, every morning, I wake up in a bed that feels twice as big. The coffee tastes bitter. The silence is heavy, but it's honest. And maybe that's the cruelest part. The truth doesn't set you free. It just leaves you alone with what's left.